dear ones. I only have a few minutes here to spend with you, unfortunately, but hopefully this weekend I can sneak in here and do some of these videos. I'd love to get to more of your questions because I know some of you are waiting to hear some answers to things. I want to thank Bonnie here for the wall hanging. Beautiful, sweetheart. Just beautiful. Already hung and done in the back. And this fast-growing trees. Red papaya, huh? Red papaya. Fast-growing trees. Yeah, look at these blueberry bushes. Ooh, so we need to get a hold of you and find out what kind of fruit I can get down here and give me some more fruit. I probably have 20 different fruit trees. And I always like more. Let me see here. Michael.I, I'm sorry that I called you a female. That happens. I tell you, I'm bad about that. You know, so I apologize there, my friend. Subject General Health Inquiry. And hello, my name is Michael. I am 16 years old. I have eczema and have had it since birth. Notice how many people on this planet have eczema, psoriasis, skin issues. Well, you know immediately that is tied to the lymphatic system. Matter of fact, the more you look at this, the more it becomes simplistic. That was Jen just telling me that her husband is he's a massage therapist, he's an assistant physical therapist, he's going for his full PT now. And it was something about psoriasis and eczema and stuff, and we know there's something going on in the body, we just don't know what. Well, link that to your more elitist medical doctors who are involved in the International Society for Lymphologists. I know that I'm supposed to talk to Samuel West's son here, and excited about that to some degree because it's important that the world get online with the lymphatic system. And here you've had these elitist medical doctors that have known about the lymphatic system, but has been pushed away or it's been antagonistic to the general order of MDs. And they consider the lymphatic system the cause of everything, all their diseases, and it's the place where the blood dumps its proteins. That is partly factual, but the real issue that people, especially, and I see it more in research, understandably so, is the need to get rid of cellular wastes and byproducts from metabolism, respiration, methylation, ionization, oxidation. All these factors that occur in and outside of a cell produce byproducts and waste. Just like a car produces burning fuel, carbon, gasoline, creates carbon dioxide. Same stuff your body produces. So you see, things aren't too different around creation. They used to say that creation just mirrors itself. And when you look at that, just simply the faces change, the names change, but things are so cyclic here, it's not even funny. We just see history continuing to repeat itself. That's why I think an infusion of love and consciousness is vital to those cycles in changing those cycles. And I think that's why you see the buddy system and why God loses itself and then has to find itself and things like that, that whole scenario there. But anybody with a skin problem really want to go after this. Most skin problems do not take that long to get rid of. You should be able to get rid of most skin problems. If you're focused on kidney filtration, lymphatic work, it should only take you 3 to 6 months. If some of you are lingering longer, then take a look at what you're doing, lifestyle, and of course, again, remember this. Every single person is different. Every single person's lymphatic system is different because of why. Not because of we're all Homo sapiens, it's because of the genetic lineage, where you were born, the types of foods you ate, the level of protein and dairy consumptions you had. That all determines just where your physical body is today. And the genetic stance, I would call it, or the genetic presence of cells. So this is, and it's a big deal because these are all the lymphomas. I was just talking to a lady that came in the pharmacy there, and She's got a squamous, and then she's got a big, kind of like a small little tumor here. It's not really a tumor per se. It's like kind of like a big pimple would be, but the medical doctor's already played with it a little bit, so it's going down now that she's working on her kidneys and lymph system. It's all starting to go away, but we're talking about pulling it out and things. But you got to take. She's, oh, I've had basals and all over. No, because this is just the lymph system, and you have to realize cancer doesn't. It is not a conscious entity that moves, but it is of a fluid problem of a systemic nature. So it's a it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And so it's important that those in the medical field that understand some degree of the lymph system go ahead and take that leap of faith and understand that you got to deal with cellular waste, parasitic waste in the lymph nodes, which handles right through the same system. So you've got various types of byproducts from chemical interactions and processes and phases and cycles and blah, 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 blah. And then you got parasitic waste that are working on that waste. And so it's waste upon waste upon waste. And it is important. It is important to remove waste out of the human body as it is nutrition. We only focus on one side of nutrition. And that is so, what's the word I want for it? Everybody has their own opinion. And so very little people know true health and vitality of what you should eat and things like that. But I always want to work and fix these skin problems, Michael, and any of you out there. I have had a couple surgeries to cut certain spots out. Yeah, I've heard that before. Others have had surgeries to have certain spots cut out, and it's like, are you friggin' serious? I also have very bad knees and joints, and this is really important too because, again, we're going back to the kidneys. We're going back to activity. Additional activity creates additional acids, creates an additional inflammation. Then, of course, with that comes the calcium draw, to try to stop that. Well, that then starts to mutate over time the joint or create calcifications in the joints. And if you have a parathyroid weakness, Michael, you could continue to lose the joints, the knees, the hips, and all this. So vital that you, especially since you've had this since you were born, vital to get in there and get this out of there. Get those kidneys filtering, get your lymph moving. I'd even take the skin formula. I mean, I'd get on our kits, I'd add the skin formula. Anything you use for the liver herbs kick real nice, like Oregon grapefruit kicks real nice over to the skin. Matter of fact, what was funny is the medical doctor did a procedure one time on a little newborn called I think it's the knitting procedure, where they tied the little boy's stomach around his esophagus so he wouldn't throw up because the little boy was compromised in digestion, like a lot of little children are, or newborns are, because of the genetic stance of hepatic, pancreatic, and liver problems. And so they tied his stomach around his esophagus. Well, of course, doing that requires surgery. So already you know that adrenals and kidneys are compromised in the newborns today like never before. If the mother's 100 over in her blood pressure, guess what the baby's going to be? So these are some of the problems that really face it. It's way out of the medical doctor's understanding of what to do with them. And no offense to medical doctors, but they are not equipped with enough knowledge to deal with infants. And there's so many of them being killed with radical, stupid procedures. It's not even funny. We put him all on fruits just before he died, and the mother said, my baby was the best I've ever seen him. But that was only 1 week. And he quit breathing, and of course all the surgery, the propofol, and he had died before on him. Just stopped breathing, and that's propofol. These are neurotoxins. And so they don't know how to deal with that sort of thing. And we're seeing just a lot of this. There's just tons of this out there. And so the vitalness of you guys to help, I can't even overstate it, because there are just children being mutilated for no reason. If you can't handle a certain food, what do? You continue to eat it, and then you fix the body so it adjusts to your eating it? I mean, that's insane. When your body doesn't want something, you don't eat it. And you have to go back and look at the children. Why aren't they not dealing with these? But they're not at that level of understanding to get that. But you guys have to be. because we're the saviors of the world in terms of health and stuff like this. Everyone else has got all radical kind of opinions and all kinds of stuff. You can't help mankind if you're a radical person. You have to be a balanced person, because you have to understand where man is in his consciousness and where we need to give a little bump up. So you might want to think about your parathyroid, Michael. That would be very important, especially with those joints creaking and everything like that. I don't like how that's sounding, and you're only 16 years old. 16-year-old, and he's got his knees popping. Oh, God. My knees have popped, oh, wow. My knees have popped out and dislocated about 6 times totally. Holy crap, Michael. All right, parathyroid gland. So there's a glandular called parathyroid. We had it made for us. And it's the only way I know, guys, to grab that gland anytime fast, because there's no herbs that we know of for the parathyroid gland. And, of course, the berries are all good for all the glands, so berries would be good. Palmetto, saw palmetto is not only a prostate berry, it's also a thyroid berry, and so it'd be a parathyroid berry. But with that said, you need a serious bump on this, and that's where the glandulars come in. And this is a good case where a glandular would be very important for this lad, because this guy could have some serious connective tissue and skeletal problems, which would definitely keep him away from sports. This would be one thing he would have a real hard time with. Sorry, Michael, not the third party, but is sports. You have to be real careful, because you could be easy to prone to fracture. And so you want to be real careful until you strengthen yourself up here. I feel that it has hurt my growth. I have had 2 knee surgeries, also 2 in 2014. You see what I'm saying? And at the same time, every time he has surgery, he's going under propofol. And you just have to remember it. At certain times, if you see symptoms, you know it's a neurological suppression. Remember I told you the lady that had knee surgeries 4 times? I don't know why it took 4 times to fix her knee, but it took 4 times to fix her knee. And after the 4th surgery, she came out of surgery, she quit menstruating, and she had type 1 diabetes. And they couldn't figure it out. And of course, totally neurological, and it's from propofol. And everything in the body is controlled neurologically. So you suppress that nervous system, guess what? What's going to happen on the other side? Do you ever suppress your nerve up here and feel your hand going numb? I'm on 100% fruits. Good lad, man. I'm really in the dark, though, about my knees. I do the parathyroid gland. I would mix that with, I know you're on fruits right now, probably, but when you shift away from that, get the superfood blend number 2. The calcium levels out the roof. But it is so powerful of a blend. Take that with your parathyroid formula. At the same time now, you want to remove that which is removing calcium from you. That's going to be acidosis. So again, you want to deal with the skin issue. But at the same time, you know that your body is so acidic that the loss of calcium is assured. Whether you have a parathyroid or weakness is not bad. It's not important, because we need to boost that up a little bit to fix those things. At the same time, you need to get that lymph moving. So 1, you fix the skin, but 2, you quit losing calcium to acidosis. Because all of that obviously doesn't lead up to anything really good here. I have no idea what the cause could be. Well, you're probably born. You might ask yourself, did you have growing pains when you were growing up? Do you have pains in your legs or muscles did you feel like when you were growing up? Things like that can lead to parathyroid weakness and stuff like that. But take a look at the family. If there's any depression in there, varicose veins, spider veins, bad fingernails, wrinkled skins, stuff like that. But irregardless, and this could be your pituitary suppressing your parathyroid. But it would have to be, because you mentioned something about stunting of growth, so then you would have to look at that as maybe a pituitary problem. All those answers can be found where? With your eyes. Take a picture of your eyes. That's a beautiful part of that. Take a picture of your eyes and take a look at yourself and see, is it a parathyroid? What is it? But I can tell you, I'd hit the parathyroid irregardless, because I've had a lot of cases like yours, and that's what I find. Let's see if I answered everything for you here. Yeah, I don't, and surgeries are not going to make any difference. You can do surgery after surgery after surgery, you notice, and it's not going to make any difference because you can't maintain the integrity of the tissue when you have a parathyroid weakness. So that's the other problem, is maintaining the integrity of that particular tissue, even though we're talking skeletal. Still, dear Shannon, you're very good explaining things to me. This is not about the kits or herbs. Let me see. Much for this. I'm having very bad digestive problems and lots of heartburn and bad breath at night. All right, so let's look at this. Oh, this person was taking the Moringa. All right, this is not about the kits or herbs. I had a soft lump growing on my left arms very near the elbow. My brother here told me that my other brother, who after retiring from the Pasadena College, went back to Costa Rica. He has 70 acres. Ooh, that's nice. There, and he is planting moringa trees. So my brother here told me that my brother there has been taking the natural moringa that he cultivates and that he is feeling great. Well, it's a hot thing now. What can I say? So I went online and looked for it and found a company in Florida which sells it. I ordered a pound and have been taking a half a teaspoon. Yeah, I know. One of our clients actually has a lot of moringa trees, and she grinds it, encapsulates it, all kinds of things. My lump was over 1.5 inches wide and about half an inch high, but not in less than 2 months. This lump is very small. It is only about half an inch wide and about 1/8 of an inch high. I am very happy to have found that this moringa powder really works. Yeah, sounds like it does some good lymphatic stuff and helpful with that kind of stuff. But you want to make sure you get your kidneys filtering, fix why you have these things. Now, is this a fatty tumor? There's a difference between a fatty tumor and just a regular type tumor. Benign or cancer doesn't really matter. Who cares if there's cancer cells in a tumor? What difference does it make? If your tumor is wrapped around tissue, you will have some cancer cells in there. Why? Because the tumor is full of what? What's the legal definition of a tumor? Pocket of fluid, right? What type of fluid? So when you get down that road and you start answering those type of questions, it leads you right to the lymph system, of course, and it leads you into obviously acids and the high burn of an acid, and why the body isolates these acids into pockets, or what we call tumors, closets, holding reservoirs, whatever you wish to call a tumor. So you have to understand what you're up against instead of taking on this massive scare tactic of a disease consciousness, because that's freaking everybody out. When you think about something spiritually for a minute, we talked a great deal in terms of Christianity and Buddhism and a lot of the other religions and the similarities to them, right? Because when we get to Christianity, we get to the omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. So that's basically all-powerful, all-knowing, and ever-present. Well, as we talked before, when you look at that, and this is the very words out of the Bible, that is something that is total. That is a reference to totality. There cannot be anything outside of that. So it can't be God and then something else, because there's no room. God's total. This is why in Buddhism they talk about consciousness, because that is ever pervasive everywhere. And it flows through everything. Everything has awareness to it at one level or another. Just because humans can't communicate with animals don't mean there's not communication skills in all species. And of course everybody now should know about plants and the extreme intelligence of plants. We talked about the case where the female professor is going to take plants and put them in airports instead of bomb-sniffing dogs, because plants are more accurate at determining chemicals that bombs are made from than dogs are. So when you start looking at that, let it breed the love and the joy of seeing God in everything and everyone, because if we see God in everyone, we put down our weapons, we put down our gossips, we put down our backbitings, our judgments. One thing we don't want to do, we want to be the most powerful, strongest group association on the planet. We want to show the world how it's done spiritually, how it's done properly with love, how we can have a huge association that stands up for the rights of individuals in every country. We want a strong association, and we're starting that. Marco and the guys are down in the Costa Rican project. This is a big thing of ours, and I've wanted this for years, because when we go after the FDA, we have an association that has finances. We have an association that has attorneys. We have an association that's prepared to walk into a court of law and show a jury truth, big time. And that's scary, because everything that's going on here unconsciously is creating what you see in front of you. So it's just enough to say that when something is total like that, there's no room for anything outside of that. And so you have to look with that and give that due respect to all life. And we have some people that, like when Marcy and Jen did the video, there's some got a kickback on, being overweight and stuff. Said it to me too. And all I have to tell you is that there's nothing perfect out there on this rock. And if you haven't learned that yet, I know there's a lot of you guys that are young. Life's tough out there. It's a tough rock to be on. And even though you set in, when I was a fruitarian, you could have never shook me off of that tree. I said, there's no way I'll ever go back. But as life takes you and grinds you and matures you and things like that, you go in and out of things. And I think in one case for me, it was to teach me balance, because without proper balance, it's hard to be a good practitioner. It's hard to be a good healer, because you tend to fall one-sided. You tend to be what you want always and not what the client needs. So that's a part about being a good practitioner, is being somewhat detached about what you think. You know the truth in terms of diet and the use of herbs. That's extremely simplistic. But it is the individual, and getting into the individual and helping them through the journey. That's the trick. Understanding what you do with people is easy to do, and I can train you all how to do all of that. But it's developing the ability to develop a good relationship with people, and to get into their space with them and sit for a while and explain truth. And when you gossip and backbite and you say that, that person's fat and ugly, you just got yourself some karma. And that's like, ooh, because the next thing, it's going to hit you. And it's like, ooh. So I've learned it's so much better just to give love to everyone. Who cares? If someone can bring you from Hellville to Wellville, who cares what they look like? Be quite frank with you. Who cares? If they want to do raw, fine. If not, fine. It's always good to see someone that's playing the role and doing it. But if they can take you from anywhere to anywhere, and they're all working on it. Everybody, we almost have 100% employee involvement with detox and stuff. Almost every one of our employees are on raw, detoxifying, doing the best they can. That's pretty darn good we have about 20 employees now. So that's pretty good. So, I think that's enough to say, you can't judge anybody in this world. It's a tough world. Relationships can change you and get you off your point. Your parents can get you off your point. I have people that are older people that are dying of cancer that worry about what their parents are thinking. These are grown, mature people. Excuse me? They're not walking in your shoes. When you walk in someone else's shoes, then you can judge maybe. But I feel that, is it kind, is it true, is it necessary? Those are very important things to think about, because we need to generate love with ourselves. If we start talking negative about people and everything else, that blows back negative on you and me and everything else, and it's like, man, that's not worth it. That's what's wrong with this planet. We have to be the stronger ones that stand up and say, that's what's wrong with this. We're not going to fall into that sort of thinking and that sort of gossiping back, that sort of little Peyton Place or Days of Our Lives type scenarios. We're healers. We're learning. And some of you that are not aware of that yet, that are just coming in, let me welcome you to a channel that can help you become a good healer, not only on yourself, but on others, because we're getting so overrun, we're going to have to start wanting you guys to set up your places so we can recommend people. And I want to know that you're doing what we're doing. Because just like what we're doing at the Miami Project, but the Costa Rican project, we want like-mindedness. There's too much of this and too much of this, and when that happens, you can lose control, and then some people don't get healed properly. Sometimes when you think you can add and do this, it's too much, or it's the wrong thing to add. Sometimes it's better to stay straight and narrow, because sometimes when I add or I do something, I find, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. So, I mean, you can do that with herbs and add things, but a lot of people start adding all these other things. And a good example was someone on bicarbonate or baking soda. It's okay initially, it's okay to pinch and use a little, but this person was on it for over 2 years, and now they have serious stomach problems. So this is sort of the thing. We get out of balance sometimes in our thinking. And I think balance is consciousness, more awareness. And more awareness means that you're getting out of your minds. You're getting out of your minds. So, let me go on here and take let's see, this is Carlos. Hi, let me first tell you that I like your work. Oh, thanks, Carlos, and you help many people with your videos. Thanks, my friend. The reason I'm contacting you is because I have this disease that I can't get a doctor to diagnose because it sounds like I'm crazy. I call what I have PATM, okay? And so do doctors on the web who claim have it, all right? What it is, people react to me as they are allergic to me. Wow. No kidding. Once they are around me for a while, they will either start coughing, nose will start running, whoa, no kidding, or constantly clear their throat. So I need some advice, please. Can you tell me where I can go to get this checked out? I have already been to a doctor, and she told me that I was imagining things, so I can't go back to her. This health condition has basically ruined my life. I can't go out and be with my family in public because of the reactions that I get, so any advice would be so much appreciated. Well, Carlos, when this happens, you know that you're either emitting energy that is out of frequency, or you're emitting odors from high-protein diets that, or toxins that you're emanating. I would say this. I would say get yourself on a good detox. Get yourself clean. Get those kidneys filtering. Get your bowels cleaned out. Get all that stinky stuff out of your body. Get your lymph nodes cleaned out. Get yourself smelling sweet. Then they'll come running toward you. But I would do that, do a little meditation, just align myself here, practice stop thinking a little bit and just hanging out with yourself and enjoying the beauty of the rock. And play a little of that way, and I think you'll turn that around. Clean up your bowels too, because sometimes, all this is vibrational and frequencies. It could be chemistry in you doing this. It could be anything like that. So you want to pull yourself in line and in balance. Take your shoes off, walk around on the beach or the grass. All kinds of things to bring balance, but get that body cleaned out, because that changes your frequencies. And then your energy that goes out is more harmonious. And that's what I would do to fix that, Carlos. Let's see, it should be, hello, Dr. Morse. My name is, I can't even pronounce this. I'm not even going to try because I'll mess it up. It's Arjuman. Arjuman. I am a 49-year-old female, wow, who has been diagnosed with optic neuritis in right eye. Attack occurred suddenly in September 14 with complete vision loss. Oh, wow. Although my vision has improved little, the doctors are saying that the attack has caused permanent damage to my optic nerve and the quality of the vision will not improve. Bull hockey. I'll say this. Get that eye wash that we have and start washing your eyes out twice a day. That's about 12 drops in an eye cup with skin temperature water. At the same time, my dear one, you've got to get up in your sinuses and in your head and in your cerebellum and detoxify. So you start with the kidneys, you increase your adrenal function, you get your kidneys filtering, you work on your lymph system. That'll pull all the inflammation out of your eye tissues. And that's even in the cerebellum that could resonate back to the eye again. So you start cleaning your acids out. That's all you have to do. This is just acidosis. But here's the other problem. If you don't, is the pressures that follow. You don't want to get into the pressures that follow. I mean, that's the glaucomic pressures, the lymphatic pressures. So, no, and you'll get your vision back. But get this inflammation now. That'll take the swelling down and everything else. But this is all acidosis. And again, this is the lymph system. I mean, this is not the blood problem, so this is the lymphatic problem. And now you want to look at that. Get that going, get that cleaned out, because this is not only that, but your brain is there. So then you get into the, honey, where'd I park the car type of thinking. My vision is hazy with limited color and light. I have gone through all possible tests and all come back negative. I have no other medical condition. Doctors don't know what caused it. If it could happen again, and probably of occurring in my other eye, they cannot do anything. Well, because they could if they knew. But you can do everything. All of this is always inflammation or / acidosis, unless you got some toxic chemical that just happened to go to that particular tissue. And if that was the case, you could detoxify that out. But it always is going to fall back on detoxification, isn't it? That's that golden key. Whether people understand it or not, this is the detoxification is a golden key to Wellville. And everyone has the chance to jump on the train or not. It's that simple. And it's not radical. I mean, it's going back to an islander diet and taking some herbs to help the kidneys to filter, get the lymph moving, maybe to pick up the liver function or whatever. Whoa. That sounds voodoo to me. I mean, that's the sort of crap that's out on this planet. So this planet is just so in need of an infused love and infused consciousness. Get out of this low-level thinking. What is your opinion on the condition and cause? Definitely acidosis. Anytime you see any type of itis, you immediately know it's inflammation. Well, immediately, for you guys that love the chemistry side, it's acids. I mean, you could probably say an alkali is inflammatory, I guess, because it burned like an acid. But it's like playing at the ends is not fun. Playing closer to the middle is. Thank you for your time. Oh, anytime, sweetheart, anytime. Hi, Dr. Morse. I am a medical student, and I have, but on this eye thing, make sure the eye wash will help too, and you'll probably get a lot of mucus out of that eye, but wash both eyes, obviously. But it promotes blood and lymph flow in eye tissue. At the same time, you could take that internally. I have an eye formula from some Chinese place, but it's called Visioplex, and it's got raw eye tissue in it, but it also has bilberry and things like that. You could take something like that for a while you're detoxifying and moving your lymph out of this area, getting yourself hydrated and all this inflammation out of here. And then all the swelling, all the vision will come back before you have damage, because it'll create damage over time. It's acidosis. So over time, you'll start breaking down the cells. So you want to get into there to do that. And if you do, you'll rebuild it. I'll tell you another thing I do. Upper circulation in brain and nerve. I would definitely use upper circulation. That'll aggressively start moving blood through the eye. But the brain and nerve will help with the optic nerve itself. So you're all good. So upper circ, brain and nerve. I do 2 kidney formulas, 2 lymphatic formulas. I definitely do my adrenal glands. And I do the eye wash. At least that, both topically and internally. If you want to step up to a Visioplex or something like that, just to hit it a little harder, you could do that. So those are the things I would do, and you'll be successful, totally successful. I've had worse. I've had blindness and got it back. So I mean, you'll get it. Hi, Dr. Morris. I am currently a medical student and had initially decided to pursue medicine before having discovered your YouTube video channel. I was led onto your channel in hopes of finding remedy to my own health challenges. I like how you think. Challenges. That's a good way. And I can't thank you enough for guiding me in the right... Oh, thanks, man. Oh, thank you for that. However, I'm in much of a predicament now, as I don't know what to do in terms of career path. Well, you could go and finish your medical degree if you wanted to go that way. And then, but the problem is, as I said, not every medical doctor belongs to the AMA. I don't know if, see, the way states and everything is set up is just so corrupt. It's like, All right. If you're a medical doctor, do you have to belong to the association or do you not? A lot of medical doctors in this town told me years ago they didn't belong to the AMA, so I don't know. I don't know about that. It's enough to say I had a chiropractor friend who became a medical doctor. There's coursework that naturopaths and chiropractors can take to become medical doctors, and he became a medical doctor. And I asked him, why the hell are you doing this? Because you run the risk of absorbing into that and losing your ability to heal. I've seen it before. No, I'm going to change the profession. I'm going to show them what truth is. Right now I can't heal anything well anymore as far as I've heard, and that sort of thing. And it's like, well, I don't know if that's true, but it's enough to say, be very careful, because energy is energy, and things can suck you in, and you can lose what you know. And that's why you always have to be awake and aware and guarding your consciousness at all times, because people like to stick things in there. It's the nature of this world to absorb into it as consciousness. And so, you just have to watch that. I don't know what to tell you. I'll say this. Some lady was in here sitting yesterday, and she's going to naturopathic school, or wanted to. And I'm not just sure I recommend that anymore. I get people constantly in here, been to 5, 6 naturopaths, 10 medical doctors, and it's like, that's the state of America. That's the state of most of the world, to tell you the truth. Oh, I've been to a homeopath, I've been to naturopaths, I've been to medical doctors, no one can help me. That makes me sick. And we're not going to be that way. We can help you. You do what we tell you, we can help you. So that's why I want you all to work with me, and we work together as a team. A good team, a godly team, however you wish to use that. I don't care what your belief systems are, but when you recognize that principle in others, that's vital, and that makes you a better healer. When it's, my religion's better than yours, and my God is, that doesn't suit anybody. That's what the trouble has been. Religions have destroyed man, and now man has been in war constantly over religions. Oh, really? Oh my God. Now where that comes from. Well, let me finish this one. So I tell them, basically get herbal degrees, because the future is the herbs, whether we like it or not. The problem again is having enough herbs for everybody, but that also opens doors for farmers and stuff like this. So it opens for more career opportunities, And I'm opening the door for a lot of you guys for career opportunities, because this world needs a lot of healers. And I want you guys to get stable and start healing people so we can recommend you, because we're getting flooded. And if the world finds out that we are we all have the answers, and people are getting healed from everything right and left, it's going to be much worse. Or better, however you wish to look at that. It's just dealing with it, having to deal with it and help people with appropriate time and being able to address. Because right now we're flooded with so many emails we can't even get to them. And it's tough on us. Everybody's stressed out over there because they're just so busy with that. And we keep hiring, but not everybody you hire works out. And here, if you don't work out, God spins you right out. We watch it every time. But if you're part of the team, and we've got a great team over there, you notice that? And every once in a while we get new ones that they So far, I've completed 2 years of med school. I will mostly end up in family practice as a general practitioner. My question for you is, how can I help others as you can help me while working as a family practitioner? Well, it's easy. I was telling you I had I really like this guy. He's a good medical doctor. He's got a great wife, too. She came to class. I invited him to class. He was out buying real estate or something, but I told you he came into my office one day and gave me a big hug. Now, he's from Canada, and he gave me a big hug, and he said, my God, I just cured a lymphedema case. I said, good, that's cool stuff. He says, we don't cure lymphedema. He says, I did. And he said, I'm in with 7 or so other practitioners, and he said they just can't believe it. And I thought, how great is that? How great is his heart now, because he helped someone cure something. That's not medical thinking. So if you can become a medical doctor, and I have a lot of good friends that are in the natural side of medical. And so I would say be a medical doctor that uses herbs and detoxification. Be a medical doctor that understands the lymphatic system, where you can help the elite medical doctors that understand it, because I call them elite because if you understand the lymph system as a medical doctor and you consider that the source of all diseases, I'm on your side, because you have a huge part of the truth. You just have to keep going a little further down the road to understand why, outside of blood proteins, cellular wastes. You get that, and now how do you get rid of them? See, then you're looking for things that, because you have to then understand acidosis, and then, of course, that's going to lead you to the balance of chemistry, the need to hydrate, the need of the alkaline side of chemistry, the base side, the need of balance, the need of detoxification. But get to the kidneys, and I think when they find the lymphatic system at the base of the spine that matches this one, I think they'll start finding the kidney connection. And once they find the kidney connection, then they have to make a jump from pharmaceuticals. And I don't think pharmaceutical companies are going to take that well. But a lot of pharmaceutical companies also sell herbs and homeopathics. Rexall Drugs, a good example of a pharmaceutical company that out the front door comes the pharmaceuticals, out the back door comes homeopathic sprays, herbal formulas. Anyway, I was telling you about that young man, and this when this young lad, he was only 8 months past, this coroner blamed us. It was like, oh, come on. I need a coroner for lunch. You know, that's just what I needed. But he looked up online, and one of our formulas, of course, liver, because this child was throwing up formulas, you know. And we were going after hepatically because that would be the problem, one of the problems. And Oregon grapefruit. It was Oregon grapefruit that caused the problem. And it was like, come on, Mr. Coroner, I love it. Keep on coming. Well, there's nowhere to go. He looked online, and somewhere he found that Oregon. Are you kidding? Pharmaceutical companies have Oregon grapefruit in formulas for psoriasis and skin problems. Thank you. So, I mean, it's just this sort of ignorance that's out there, and this has got to stop. And I'm not going to take it anymore in my life. We're coming after them, because this is, you look at the kids. Look at the kids and what's going on and what they're doing to babies and stuff. It's out of their league. It might be insultive to you, forgive me for saying it, but it is out of your league. I would become a medical doctor. Go ahead and finish that up if you want. If not, take what you got, become a naturopath, or simply become an herbalist. But with a medical doctor, you have more doors that open up for you, no question about it. Let's be truthful about it. You can go into a bank and you have immediate loan. I have banker friends, you know, and medical doctor immediate loan, how much you want. Doesn't matter what your credit is. So, I mean, that's amazing. Amazing. So, you might want to continue that up just for the perks. But you have to be careful not to be drawn in and lose what you know to be true. And that's what happens. Sometimes we're pulled in and we lose what we know to be true. So, don't be careful with that. You're a good guy and you want to be real careful with that. I only have really time for one more here, and I apologize. It's not very a long one, so please address this. Oh, please address this ASAP. She has been waiting patiently. Oh, shit. Yeah, you know, I'm sorry, guys, but again, if you got a problem, don't friggin' wait on me. You call into the clinic. As busy as we are, we still help. I don't care what. We'll help till we can't stand no more, right? What is this? All right. I'm writing to you because I recently found out that I have the MTHFR gene mutation. Now, people have written to me quite a bit about that. And I am here to tell you that medical doctors aren't now, I don't mean this as negative, and I'm talking about researchers, do not know how to deal with genes and the mutation of genetic factors. I don't care what you say. And when you get into that, it'll confuse you, as it will them. They don't understand consciousness, memory, mind, how that all works in cells. They don't understand that. And so when you start going, you're missing this gene or that gene, you're into worlds way beyond anybody here that can deal with, because they can't deal with that. And I wouldn't even go there, especially if a medical doctor says that. No offense to you medical doctors, but You can't play that game. You can only, your focus should be regeneration of tissue, because that's what we're into. Detoxification is simply the doorway to the regeneration of tissue. And that includes the genetic remembering of cells. And it's nothing we do. It's nothing you can do. And don't try it. That's just narcissistic elitism. This is a God thing that has to happen. And it's all set up through magnetics, through chemistry and physics. And that's why we're into chemistry and physics as a health modality. That's why naturopathy, not naturopathic medicine, that's why naturopathy considers chemistry and physics the two top sciences on this planet. And that we all try to be, those of us that are naturopathists, try to be chemists and physicists, because it helps you to understand. But you have to have some spiritual background to understand consciousness and just what energy is. I mean, you can study quantum and the current understanding of energy and intelligence and their theories on that. But in the spiritual worlds, we already know those things. And so it's just putting those two together for yourself. What we know spiritually of the God worlds and creation and how it's put together. And there's plenty of volumes in religions and philosophies on this. People that have journeyed out of the body and come back and said, look what we've discovered. And the masters have written volumes on this. And it's just putting it all together for yourself. And that's what I've tried to do, is cut out all the crap and streamline it for all of us. That way we don't have to spend years wasting our time, and we can focus right on. You know, we don't have to go back and redo the things that I've had to learn, or any of you guys. We can start now, because we know some things just are the way they are through past experiences. Why go back and grind the past? We want to head for the future. No question about that. All right, my main symptoms are fatigue, low back pain that also goes down my legs. So stop right there. You know immediately that's kidneys. Lower back is kidneys every single time. So, but that's what everybody suffers from, is some degree of kidney problems, either lack of filtration or very serious kidney breakdown. And the fatigue, of course, comes from the adrenal glands on top. If you have a thyroid down, that's double fatigue. But when you're lower back, you know immediately it's kidneys, and you know immediately on top of the kidneys are the adrenals. Right. Now, you can get into sciatic pains, you get into the different pains down there, the swelling of the lower spine, blah, 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 blah. She has mild scoliosis. So having mild scoliosis means that your lymph system is backed up. That means your kidneys are not filtering. That means you're going to have lower back problems. And you can't fix the lower back problems until you fix the kidneys. Or you can have surgery, but you got to fix the kidneys. That's prime. And then the adrenals, you have to fix the adrenals to fix the kidneys. So everything works together kind of in that way. So you want to hit that parathyroid just in case that's what you have down. And it's not just the lymph pulling the calcium out of the spine. It is, you know, so check and make sure you have a parathyroid weakness. You can look at your eyes, look at the other things we talked about related to parathyroid. However you want to get that, just get a picture of your eyes and take a look. But I would still hit that. If I'm going to rebuild myself or I'm going to work on you, I would do that. I would hit your parathyroid for a bottle or two with maybe a high a Bones formula or a superfood blend, something high in calcium, so the utilization of that would be there. All right, so let's move on there. Anxiety, where are we going back to? We're going back to the adrenal glands, aren't we? We're going back to the adrenal glands. Well, it all makes sense, doesn't it? Right. Depression, where are we now? Oh, we're at the parathyroid gland. Oh, wait a minute. We just found out our two glands that are down. We found that the adrenals are down in this person. We found that their parathyroid's down in this person. There's two glands down right there. And a lack of energy. Of course, that's all adrenals. I am also sensitive to cold weather. That means you're low in thyroid. So your parathyroid's down. It makes sense that the thyroid be a little down with it. Now the question is your pituitary down, making the other two go down, or is your thyroid and parathyroid down because they're individually genetically weak, or are they full of mucus from a lymph system that's backed up? Or from one that drank too many dairy products and too much cheese and milk? So that's thyroid. I have cold hands and feet. That's thyroid. I also recently had lab work. Where's the gene in here? I also recently had lab work done, and the physician assistant told me that my TSH was high and that my thyroid is borderline underactive. I would concur with your symptoms. You really did that. Your symptoms told you that right off. So you can do one of a couple things. Detox and let your thyroid pop up. You can use herbal formula for the thyroid, or you can use a 150 milligram thyroid granular just for a bottle, just to pop that baby up, see if it holds. But you got a parathyroid in there as well. So the question is, do you have a pituitary weakness? Are you female? Yeah. All right. So, Lynnette, female. How's your monthly cycles been when you were young? Are you still young? I don't know what your age is here, I don't think. But anyway, as your period's off, are you short? You know, look for pituitary problems, because you might have to work on the pituitary along with thyroid and parathyroid. But right here, what you're telling me, everything does point to thyroid and parathyroid weakness. Your TSH seems to be quite adequate. Your TSH level was 4.6, and my T4 and T3 were in range, she said. Well, that doesn't mean anything, you know, and I don't use blood work. I mean, I do, but you have to be careful with hormones and steroids and blood work. Not always accurate. Your symptoms would be, though, and you could do basal temperature under your arm. So if your basal temperature ran low, your symptoms are definitely thyroid, parathyroid. So if those two match, it doesn't care what your blood shows. You're experiencing low thyroid. It doesn't matter what your blood's showing you, you're experiencing symptoms. You can't deny the experience of symptoms if your blood looks good. Oh, my blood's good, and that's been medical doctors' problems. Oh, your blood looks good, you're good. Well, what's that tumor sticking out of my side then, doc? See what I'm saying? Blood is only a look in blood. There's a few factors we've told you about to look into the lymph system, like liver enzymes, alkaline phosphatase. You can look at your creatinine to look at the kidney function. You can look at your BUN, your BUN, just to see if you're eating too much proteins, and those few things like that. You can look at your C-reactive proteins to see how your acidosis is, that sort of thing. Few things. She suggested that I take thyrotin, which is an herbal supplement. Yeah, you can do that. Try that and see if that lifts that up. You know, if not, use a glandular then a little bit. But you've got a parathyroid with it, so you can work on the twins together with a little thyroid formula, parathyroid. The thyroid, I'd be real careful with it when I use a glandular, because it's easy to pick up your thyroid gland. So it's easy to send your thyroid into hyperactivity sometimes. It contains iodine, 150 micrograms. Nope, stop. Don't take ice. I disagree with the isolated iodine completely. Stop it immediately. If you're going to take something for the thyroid and it has iodine in it, I don't recommend it whatsoever. If you want iodine, take kelp, dulse, nori, seaweed, somehow, but don't take iodine, potassium iodine. These are all toxic. Iodine as an isolate, in my opinion, very toxic. And yet they recommend it all the time. Forget that. L-thioxine, no, forget all this. No, you don't want that formula. I like the bladderwhack, I like the ashwagandha, I like that, but that's the only thing. And you don't want to do the iodine, because if you're not uptaking it, you're gonna deposit all through your body. Matter of fact, take a picture of your eye and see if you have little reddish spots all in it. It means that your body wouldn't be metabolizing it. I'm not sure what to do, as I don't want to take something if I don't need it, and I also don't want to have something take over the function of my glands. Yeah, I don't blame you. Well, but that's not taking over the function of your glands, but the iodine has a potential to be not only toxic to you, but to create hyperthyroidism. You just want to be cautionary with isolates. Go to your kelps and stuff. But if you wanted to pick it up a little faster, you could do a 150 milligram glandular for one bottle or something to pick it up. But you want to work on your parathyroid. That's more important to me right now with what you're telling me here. And I would use a couple of bottles of that with, like I say, a superfood blend or something like that. At the same time, you're cleaning. You're moving the acids and the mucus out of these tissues. Because just like your sinuses get mucus, your bronchia gets mucus, your thyroid gets mucus, your voice box gets mucus. You ever people rattle in their voice box? Yeah, it's mucus. That's from mucus-forming foods. Or someone doing too much peppers or things like that. If I do pepper, I can hardly handle anything hot. Anything at all, my mucosa goes, whoa! If you become a fruitarian, you'll notice your body wants nothing abrasive. Nothing. Not even cayenne pepper. Nothing that's in even the low heat units. Your body doesn't want anything. You're so sensitive to anything like that. And when I do that, I get mucus all over the place. Not coming from there, it's creating it. I almost choke because it's too aggressive on the mucosa. Your mucosa gets sensitive. All the cooked foods, all the hot foods, and all this, your mucosa gets hardened. Not good. In my past, I've had mono, and well, you know, part of that's all deal with the lymph system. My sister had the same thing. That's all lymph and adrenals. And what feels like chronic fatigue that lingered after having mono. Yeah, I'm familiar with it. And the methylfolate, exactly, that I was put on seemed to help a little. I guess I would like to know what you suggest as far as taking any glanders or doing any kind of fast and enemas to help my thyroid and parathyroid. Oh, you know the parathyroid gland. You were right. Good thinking. I was thinking to go on a lemon water fast. I love it. Do it. Just not sure how long. Whatever you can do. Whatever you can do. Oh, look. I did 3 days. You know what? I can go 4 or 5. That's a piece of cake now. After you pass your second or third day, you know how that rides. Oh, well, I can do 10 days. Let me go for 10 days. Challenge yourselves. I mean, this is all about you and your own self-discipline, right? So challenge yourself to go a little deeper, a little further when you do this. I would highly recommend that. Get yourself into a cold and flu-like symptom and it'll pull all this mucus out of your throat and everything will work better. MTHFR, scoliosis, back pain, and my thyroid. I wouldn't even, the MTHFR, throw that in the trash can and go on with your life. Thyroid's easy to fix thyroids, parathyroid's easy to do all that. Are glandulars only effective when taken eating 100% raw or fasting? No. No, they're effective any and all times. Any and all times. Also, I've heard you mention cases of people with scoliosis and short people that have taken parathyroid glanders and have grown in height. That's pituitary. Pituitary. That's absolutely. We get a call. I don't know how often, but we get a call fairly frequently about children that are not growing. And of course, we go right to the pituitary, and they pick right up, and then they have normal lives again. You can fix things, guys. I'm a fixer. You can fix things. And that's what's cool. No one put you in hell and took away the key. You can fix things. Some of you might have some tough karma. Work through it. Get it done. Get her done. And then you're done. And your next life, and your next journey, or the rest of this journey is cool stuff. You're happy, you're healthy, you feel good. You've taken care of some bad karma. And now you know how not to create any more bad karma. You start giving love to others. You treat others as if you're talking to God. And pretty soon you'll see God. Pretty soon you'll become God. It's almost like you just been swimming in the ocean. And pretty soon you become the ocean of love and mercy. I also have heard you, I am 22. Oh, now we get it. I'm 22 years old. Also, is there a way to heal this? I would lose that. You get on raw, you go after your health, forget about genes, go after your raw, go into tissues, fix them, repair them, whatever, and before you know it, you'll have a totally healthy body, and all will be good. I don't have to take this methylfolate. Yeah, absolutely, no way in hell. I don't even know why they have you on it, and I wouldn't be taking it if it was me, period, end of story. You don't know what they're doing. These guys are crazy. I disagree with what you're doing there. I know that this can cause birth defects if women become pregnant. Yeah, I would kick that into the field zone. I know that this can cause birth defects, I won't want this to happen to the absolutely, honey. Lynnette, get rid of it. I mean, you can't buy in everything these guys say because they're wackos, some of them. And when you get into genes and stuff, they don't even know how to deal with stem cells, let alone genes. So you're real careful when you go down that road because they can have you on some pharmaceuticals that'll destroy your DNA and stuff. You want to be real careful with these guys. They have no conscience in terms of damaging people's cells and the function of their DNA. Talking about that is what they're doing with methylfolate and the future of the cell from the damage from that. You just have to be real careful. I got to run, guys. I love you so much. You've done so well, each and every one of you. Thank you. I want to thank each and every one of you, give each and every one of you a big hug for spending your time in front of the TV or computer or whatever watching these videos. Some of you are watching a lot of them. I love you. Catch this for yourself. Make yourselves healthy, spiritually awake, and your life will be a ride like nobody's business. It'll get you out of Hellville and take you beyond Wellville. So have fun doing this. Life should be about fun and experiments and joy and happiness, but you have to create that for yourself. You're the one. This all rests on each and every one of your shoulders to help yourselves. But you got friends, and I'm offering you my hand as a friend. Namaste. Love you all.